Hey guys, it's Maisie. I thought I would come on and do a small tutorial for you. Let me just pop that out of the way a minute. Basically, I'm going to show you how to make one of these and how to attach a ribbon to the back to turn it into a hanging decoration. There is plenty of tutorials on how to make the mini rosettes, but I haven't seen one to make one like this. So I thought I'd do it. Now, I've done a bit of a Blue Peter move because you guys that normally watch me will know I am naff at editing, so I don't. Um, so we're going to do a bit of a Blue Peter move, but apart from that, I will show you how to score and all that kind of jazz and how to put this together. I will tell you what you need. And all the measurements and stuff. I will also pop it down in the description box. But without further ado, well, I'm just going to have a sip of my drink. And then without further ado, let's get on. That's better. Feeling a bit dry throat there. But yes, so let's pop this one out of the way. And I will tell you what you need first. So, I will tell you what I use, and then I will tell you what you can use if you haven't got the things that I have. So I have a scoreboard. Many of you guys don't out there. But I used a scoreboard for mine for all the scoring, along with my score tool. Now this is just a nail dotting tool and it works perfectly. They're really cheap on Amazon or eBay. I believe I paid like £3 for these like 3 years ago. If you don't have a scoreboard, you can go old school and use a metal rule. But for the metal rule, you will need a pencil. And if you don't have a paper scorer, but you have one of these, which is a bone folder, then I would suggest using that, or the back of a pair of scissors. You will also need a pair of scissors. So yeah, if you have got the scoreboard, scoring tool, pair of scissors. If not, go old school. You will also need some glue. I'm using this 151 clear glue. You can use any other wet glue, double-sided tape. I will say double-sided tape doesn't hold these very well. So I wouldn't advise double-sided tape. And of course you can use hot glue. Hot glue does dry a lot faster, but I just make a mess and burn myself, so that's why I don't use it. You will need some papers. So I have used many different ones. I've been making these for a little while, but I would suggest a pattern paper and a plain, or two patterns if you would like to. And then you will need either a paper trimmer or a guillotine. I'm just going to try and reach my guillotine, or you can of course use scissors. But to start with, we are just going to cut out the last bit that I need, because as I said, I've done a bit of a Blue Peter. So on here you can't see the measurements very well, but I will tell you what I'm cutting it at. So for this pattern piece, I'm using 12 by 12. But you of course can use any others. I've made these with A5 sheets of paper, but for this certain strip that I am using, we need to cut this one to a 4.5 centimetre width strip. Line that up. So that's that bit done. So we can move that bit of paper and move my big clunky guillotine out of the way. Again, of course, you can use scissors or a paper trimmer of your choice. I would love a small paper trimmer. My one doesn't cut very well, so I need to invest in a new one. But all we do, so you've got your 4.5 centimetre strip here, and I've cut it to the wrong size. So scrap that, not 4.5 centimetres. We need to bring back in the guillotine, because I'm a ninny. You need, for patterned paper, for this strip, I need a 5.5 centimetre. Sorry, I have my measurements just up above me and I read the wrong one. So back in with the pattern paper, and we need a 5.5. Okay, so try again. So we have our 5.5 centimetre strip of paper. Oops. Oh no, I'm knocking all sorts over. Never mind, I'll pick it all up later. So pop that in your scoreboard lengthways. So as you can see, if you've got a 12 by 12 scoring board, it'll be a bit easier. Mine's only a little diddy 6 by 6. Or is it 8 by 8? Nope, mine's 8 by 6, I believe. But anyway. Now, I score mine at 1 centimetre. Now, you don't need to push really hard. You're only working with paper. If you're working with cardstock, by all means push a bit harder. But with this paper that I'm using today, I need to be really gentle or it tears the paper. So, sorry you've got to painfully watch me score each individual line. As you can see, my scoreboard doesn't have any measurements on it. I've done it by colour coding. But if you're using a ruler, just mark out with your pencil at every 1 centimetre or however, however big you want the gap to be. I wouldn't suggest going above 2 centimetres. It looks a bit funny after that. But yeah, just score every 1 centimetre all the way down your strip of paper. Oh, nearly done. And when you come to the edge, you might sometimes find that you've got a little bit overhang. If you do, with this one I'm going to have one strip too long anyway. Snip it off. That's what we needed our scissors for, that's it. So we have our bit of paper, lovely and scored. We're now going to accordion fold it so it looks like this. So the way I do it, because this does, once you've done all of the measurements, does get a little bit tedious. Just fold it like that. And you'll see what I mean by it gets a little bit tedious in a second. If this bit gets tedious just doing one strip. But you do need at least, if you're using 12 by 12, you do need at least 2 for the bigger dimensions on the bottom. If you're using A5 for these, if you're using A5, you will need to use more. If you're using 12 by 12, you need 2. So I will explain what I mean by this by bringing in my others. So this one is 6.5 width paper. Once it's obviously been turned into one of these, it doesn't look like 6.5. But I used, did I use 2 or 3? I think, no, I did use 3 with this one because I used A3 paper. So yeah, so that's a 3, and as you can see, I've just glued them together using 1-inch punches from paper pads. I've used this from paper pad that I didn't like this paper. And again with my 4.5. And as you can see, I've used 2 some plain paper and some patterned. And then this one is a 3.5, and this is the top, so it has the decoration at the top. But all we're going to do now, so you will need 2 circles if you're doing one of these ones. So your bottom 3 layers need 2 circles, and your top one decoration in the middle, as you do a normal rosette. So this one, we're going to glue it together now. So you'll notice we have a sticky up bit and a sticky down bit. Those 2 are going to interlock like that once we've glued them together, obviously. So just whack on a bit of glue. My glue is ever so slightly running out, but don't panic, I have loads. A bit of a stockpile for glue. So we're just going to stick those together like that. You guys didn't see any of that. It's okay, I've got to do it again anyway. So now you have one big long strip. We're now going to meet the ends so we make a circle. So again, whack a bit of glue on. Now you guys will have to forgive me because this is my first ever tutorial. So it could be a bit naff. But once you've got those, stick them together. If you can hear the tap running or anything, it's my boyfriend. He's getting a drink or he's sorting out our hamster. I'm not sure of which. So then you have this circle. And it's, yeah, accordion folded all the way around. I'm next going to get my... I always find it easier to get these ready before I start squashing it out and making it look like a rosette. So I just whap a bit of glue on and pop it to one side. And again, with the top one, whap a bit of glue on, smear it around a bit, and this glue can get a bit stringy. Pop it to one side. Now, to get this shape out of this, we're just going to do this. I'm just going to move my dotting tool. We're going to squash it so it looks like that. Then we're going to push it all together so we have a really small hole. Now I always put my finger on the top of that hole so it can't budge. And I'm just going to put my gluey circle on top and press. Now you do need to press quite hard, or that happens, it pops back out. Sometimes you will need to grab all sides and give it a good old push. Now you can use a weight for this as well. Obviously if you're using hot glue it's going to dry so much faster. But yeah. Okay. So we're now going to flip this really quickly. So I've got to go out of frame to do that. Oh, and if it does that, just gather it all back up like that. Like so. So again, put your finger in the middle of it, grab your gluey circle, press it on. And just give it a press for between 10 and 15 seconds. Let the glue grab hold of what it's got to grab hold of. I should be able to lift that up, turn it over. And this is why I use liquid glue, because then those circles are movable. Good press. Okay, so there we have a big rosette. I do need to give it a bit more of a press. So there you go. Now if you can feel the hole growing a bit bigger underneath, just push it in at the sides and keep pressing. Oh, that one's going to come back. See, sometimes they do fly open. So, yeah. Just keep pressing until you feel like it's not going to pop up anymore. I don't think that one is going to pop up anymore. So there we go. We have a 5.5. Sometimes this one's going to be a pain today. I can feel it. But then all you're going to do, get your bottom one. So this is your 6.5, which for you guys over the pond, it's 2.5 inches. I will convert the rest of the measurements in a second. Whap a bit of glue on. Pop your second layer of your rosette. Does that look central? Almost. See, this is why I use liquid glue. Give it a good press. Again, because you want to bond those two bits, so this rosette and this rosette together. So now that's bonded, gonna, again, in the middle of that white circle, whap a bit of glue. Pick up your second, your third, press it down. And just making sure all of this is central. And then with your last one, oh, you will find if you're using wet glue, it's going to move around a bit, but that's kind of what you want. You want to be able to move it. And you got your final layer on the top. Bish bash bosh, you have a 3D rosette. So I've made these for gifts. I have made these for craft fairs, wall decorations. So there you go. That's your big rosette. Just give it a good old push. Quite a weighty push. You're not going to break it. Bob's your uncle. So we're just going to set this one off to the side to dry a little bit. We're going to bring it back on my other one because this one is dry. And we are going to attach some ribbon. Now, my ribbon, sillily enough, is underneath me. So, I've got my bag of ribbons. Here we go. Let's do this. Oh, sorry, jogging the camera. Sorry. Right, so we have our dried rosette, and it's dry, it makes that sound. Now, just going to pick a bit of ribbon. Here we go, here's a bit of red. And we don't want it to be this long. The way I measure my ribbon is I'll fold it in half and think, how long do I want it to hang? So I don't want to hang it too far. So I'm going to cut about there. Now, I'm going to fold it so it's in a loop like this. Pop it in the middle and check that your heart is the right way. Don't do a me and just give it a good old stab, because that's not going to help. Now, I use a stapler for mine and I just fold it out like that and whap a staple in just like so. So now you've got your hanging bit, but as you can see, it does that. So what I'm going to do is use my glue. Oh, that's a bit wonky. So I'm going to use my glue and stick the two tails of the ribbon to the accordion folded paper. Like so. I will show you what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to whap a bit of glue there, whap a bit of glue there, a bit more there to make sure it sticks. And I'm just going to fold the ribbon down over the glue. Just like so. So that you can hang it up. It doesn't take a lot for the glue to grab. And there you have it, a hanging rosette. Now to make this bit look a bit more pretty, I'm going to go in with our scissors, lop that bit off. Just for security reasons, I'm going to whap in another staple just there. Then I'm going to get another one of these 1-inch circle punches. Whap a bit of glue on. Stick that straight over the top. Give it a push. And as you can see, that's hidden your staples pretty darn well. So nobody can see that you've stapled it on. It looks pretty, it looks professional. So there you go. That is a hanging rosette. And you can just hang that up on your wall. I do personalise them. Sometimes that glue is not sticking today. I don't know what's going on with my glue today. It's been a bit of pansy. There we go. So there we have it, a hanging rosette. And you can see it doesn't do that awkward thing now. So yeah, there you go. That is your hanging rosette. Of course, you can leave them like this for wedding tables and things like that. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please let me know. I am going to write the method of how I do it all in the description box. But all you need to remember, you've got your 6.5 centimetre, your 5.5 centimetre, your 4.5, and your 3.5. You know, if it doesn't matter what size you're making. So if you did 10 centimetre, do a 9, 8, and a 7. But yeah, so there you go. Happy days. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any advice on tutorials, please let me know. Just not editing because I don't do it. But yeah, please like and subscribe. And again, any questions, don't hasten to add. Cheers, guys. Bye.